Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to take a look at the Eeveelutions from Prismatic Evolutions, and the fact that they're actually crashing in price. Now, when I say crashing in price, this is all relative. I'm not saying they're $10 cards right now. And it's not all of them, there are a couple of exceptions. But generally speaking, these Eevees are actually coming down in price fairly significantly. And if you're somebody that really wants these Eevees, if you want to be picking them up, if you've been waiting for a cheaper time to grab them, we might be there, or at least getting there. Because let's not forget, we are now getting to the point where Prismatic Evolutions is kind of out. And I know it originally came out in January, don't get me wrong. That was when we saw the first drop. But we just had the Super Premium Collection. And the only product now which hasn't released is the Premium Figure Collection, which is coming out on the 26th of September. Still, as far as I'm aware at least, I don't think we got a product image of this, but we do have the Umbreon and Espeon EX, which we're pretty sure is going to be in this. These were promos that were given out in Korea. So although we don't have actual confirmation these are the ones from the box, we know that there are promos of Umbreon and Espeon coming. These are the only ones that we've not had that we know are out there. It's very likely, can't guarantee, but very likely. Super Premium Collection, like I said, has recently released. Wonderful product. And I know a lot of people have picked this up. I know a lot of people have not been able to pick this up, which is very sad. But this is the one that comes with your 15 packs, your plush Eevee deck box, sleeves, and mat, and your Eevee special illustration rare. And we did have that new drop the other day, where the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes were put back onto the Pokemon Center. That's the one I told you about recently, where I actually missed out. I tried. I wanted one. I got it in my basket. But I was not able to get over the finish line. These things happen. It sucks. Don't have an Elite Trainer box for Prismatic Evolutions yet. Would like one very much indeed. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that at some point in the near future I'm going to be able to get hold of one of these. But the point of this preamble is we've had a lot more Prismatic Evolutions hitting the market. And I know it's not enough. And I know that it's still selling out everywhere. I know that when this stuff goes onto the market, it sells out immediately. I'm fully aware of all of this, as are you guys. I know Prismatic Evolutions won't stay in stock, but more is coming. And even though the Prismatic Evolutions products, when they get to shops, aren't staying in stock, this is having an effect on the price of singles. We're going to focus on the Eeveelutions today, because most of them are going down fairly significantly. This doesn't mean ridiculously cheap. It means significantly cheaper than they were before, and that has got to be a good thing. Got to be a good thing. Take the Umbreon as an example. This is the biggest, bestest card in the set. And look, this is still a $1,200 card. I am not going to claim for the life of me that this is a cheap card or anything like that. This is a ridiculously expensive card. If you pull one of these, you should be absolutely delighted. If you want to buy one of these, you are going to have to pay a decent sum of money. It's a $1,200 card right now, okay? This is not a cheap card. But if we compare it to just 3 months ago, it was a $1,600 card. Well, that's a 25% drop, somewhere in that region. We're rounding a little bit. But it's like a 25% drop in the space of 3 months. That is a significant drop. That is a significant downturn. And look, this is still Umbreon. It is a special illustration rare Umbreon. It is very hard to get hold of. The pull rates for it are very low. The rumors still persist that the pull rates for Prismatic Evolutions are worse than normal, and that is fueling a lot of fear for people not being able to get these cards. But we all know Umbreon is ridiculously popular, and we all know that this artwork is absolutely stunning. You add that all up together, it's still a $1,200 card, but a 25% drop in the space of 3 months is very significant. Now, the other big one in the set, the next biggest one at least, we're talking about the Sylveon. Now, Sylveon's a weird one, because if we compare this to 3 months ago, we look at it and go, oh, it's gone up by like $10. It's basically the same. But if we compare it to 4 weeks ago, it's come down by $70. It was $560 like 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's now down to $490. Again, a very expensive card. No argument there. Again, should be very happy if you pull it. You're going to have to pay a bit if you want to pick it up. But I'm also looking at this and thinking, if I really wanted these Eeveelutions, if I was looking to be picking these up, I would be going, well, hang on a second. I can pick it up for $70 cheaper now than it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. Actually, I'm seeing this as a little bit of a win. I'm pretty happy about this. This is going to help out a lot of people that want to pick these cards up. Now, at this stage, I should probably answer a question to which I don't have the answer, as weird as that sounds. Maybe this ends up carrying on. Maybe it starts getting reversed pretty quickly. I don't know is the honest answer. So, yes, there is a chance these keep going down. There is also a chance they've gone down as far as they're going to. Now, it's also interesting to note that there are Eevee decks right now that are doing pretty well. There were 2 in the top 8 of Portland this weekend. And there are 2 Eeveelutions there that actually see play. One of which is Sylveon, which I do find very, very interesting. Could this have an effect? It's always going to be the second biggest card, because Sylveon is always second to Umbreon when we look at this stuff. But it feels like this could also kind of help push its value up. It's got Angel Light, which lets you choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and shuffle them into your opponent's deck. You cannot do it 2 turns in a row, but you can use it to wreck your opponent's bench, especially in a setup deck where they've had to put lots of effort into getting those Pokemon out. Now, Leafeon, again, we see a similar kind of thing to Sylveon here. If we compare it to 3 months ago, it's basically gone from like $360 to $380, so it's actually gone up by like $20. If, however, we can go, well, hang on a second. Like a month and a half ago, it was $470. It's come down by $90 in the past month and a half. That is a significant drop. Essentially, it was a very bad time to buy it 6 weeks ago. It's now almost back down to where it was with a clear downwards trajectory. Now, again, I cannot tell you it's going to keep going down. It could turn around and start going up again. But that's 3 out of 3 now that I'm looking at going, there's significant downward trends. And the Espeon is even more pronounced. The Espeon 3 months ago was $430. It's now $340. That is another $90 drop. When you're seeing several types of the same card, in this case, special illustration rare Eeveelutions from Prismatic Evolutions, if you see several of them, and they're all seeing like a $90 drop, either in the space of 3 months or in the space of like a month and a half, even if that comes after a jump up, this is significant. These cards are coming down. We can have a look at the Glaceon here. 3 months ago, it's $325. It's rocking along $325 to $340 for ages. Drops to $280. Super drop. Very quickly. Again, this is not a drop in the past 3 months. This is a drop in the past 3 weeks. Pretty much exactly 3 weeks, if anybody's wondering. This is a card which has at least recently been on a downwards trend. Cannot stress enough, not saying these downward trends are going to continue. Showing you what the trends are right now. Because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. All I can do is tell you what's happening now and my interpretation thereof. But this has gone from like $340 to $280. This is, like, again, somewhere in the region of a quarter of its value knocked off in the space of a couple of weeks. This is very significant. And we see the same with Flareon. Flareon was like a $400 card back in mid-March. So like 2.5 months ago. Now it's a $280 card. And yes, $280 is a lot of money for this. That is an expensive card. That is one way to look at this. $280, very expensive card, I grant you. Another way to look at this is it's gone from over $400 to $280. That's a $120 drop. That is a huge drop. It's well over a quarter coming down here in the space of 2.5 months. And what's really interesting here, of course, is that Flareon is the other one of these Eeveelutions which has proven itself to be incredibly playable. And it is very playable, this Flareon. Very big part of this deck that we've all been using, that got 2 top 8 spots in Portland. That is pretty relevant. It's got Burn in charge, so it does 130 damage, and you search your deck for 2 basic energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon, so it basically fuels like your entire deck. You get this one out rolling early doors, and then that's going to get all of your Pokemon running along rather nicely. We like Flareon. But the value of this one is dropping like the others. Eevee, I should mention as well, is on a pretty steep drop. It was $240 at the end of March, beginning of April. It's now $170. So that's a $70 drop. Not quite a third, but not far off a third of its value pretty much instantly. Do remember, of course, this is the same card as Cake Eevee, which was in that super premium collection. So I do find it interesting that we've actually got 2 versions of this card, and maybe people are just going, look, I got Cake Eevee now, buddy. I don't need this one. Cake Eevee's got my back. I'm rolling with Cake Eevee. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. What I can tell you for now is they are rocking down. By the way, we've not mentioned Jolteon because I'm using TCG Play here so I can compare apples to apples. And right now it's... the data on Jolteon is a bit awkward, so I can't show you a nice graph. But how about I show you the fact that, you know, back at the end of April, it was selling for like $350, and now it's selling for like $270, as an example. Yeah. Don't think Jolteon hasn't dropped down massively. Jolteon has dropped down massively. So there we go. That's what you need to know. And now I want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about these Eeveelutions? Are you happy that the prices are coming down? Are you sad that the prices are coming down? Do you think this is going to last, or do you think it is just a little bit of a blip? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Unknown One, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout-out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.